So guys, welcome to this next module within the course. Now, within this module, I want to be covering the Facebook inbound lead method. Now, all the other outreach methods up until this point we've spoken about have been how to, reach out to a brand and how to position yourself and your agency as very, very valuable and really just sell the meeting by reaching out to them, explaining the pain points, explaining where you can see, that they're currently not using things to their full potential, all that type of stuff, okay? And they are amazing methods to get clients. And again, as you guys know, that's how I got my first 6 to 7 clients, okay? But once you start having some success with that and you start getting some clients on board and you start to get some, really, really good results, then from there you can start to leverage what I like to call the Facebook inbound lead method. So let's have a look through and really just figure out what it is, and then how you can, leverage it for your own agency and essentially generate inbound leads for your agency. So first things first, this is an advanced method. And as I kind of just touched on before, this is for those who have a few clients and are able to consistently generate great results for them, okay? Technically, you can use your contractors' results, but it works better if they are what you and your agency produced, okay? I see quite often, with some students and whatnot, they try to use this method with, what their contract, their team member and their contractors' results. But I found that if they're actually your results, then it's going to be a lot better because you are genuinely more, you're genuinely more reputable. You can explain the results far better because you and your agency got them. Whether it be that your contractor got them, it's just the fact that it's your client, you know what I mean? So you need to ensure that you have a few clients and you can get them some really, really good results, whether it be high ROAS or whether it be an average ROAS, pretty good ROAS, but at high spend. Something needs to pop, something needs to be eye-catching for people to physically stop scrolling, take the time out of their day to read through the post, and then from there, actually reach out to you or comment or whatever the case may be, okay? Now, obviously, you're probably thinking, where do you post? Where to post, right? So you want to post in groups that are strictly Facebook advertising groups, okay? You need, it's just imperative that you ensure that the group is a Facebook advertising group as opposed to a drop shipping group or an Ecomm group. Because as I go on to say in the second point here, too many people make the mistake of posting in e-commerce groups. And what you'll quickly realize is that the majority of the members in those groups are drop shippers who do not qualify. So, guys, logically, it makes sense, okay? Logically, it makes sense that you post in an e-commerce group because you're trying to get e-commerce clients. But because of the world that we live in today, because every single person out there is doing some sort of drop shipping or anything like that in e-commerce, you'll find that these Shopify groups, these e-commerce groups are all just heavily filled with drop shipping people who have, you'll find majority of the time they'll have like a $500 budget. They want you to build the store, they want you to run the ads and get them amazing results and make them a millionaire. It's just not, it's just not a real kind of goal. And essentially it just comes down to the fact that they just don't qualify. If you take their business, their brand through the 6-part qualification process that you should be taking every single brand through, you will see that I'd go as far as saying 99% of the time, they will not qualify, and I can guarantee you that, okay? So that's the first thing in terms of where to post. You want to ensure that you only ever post in strictly Facebook advertising groups, because you'll find, again, in those groups, it's actual e-commerce brand owners, like legit brands who, they've got a couple, maybe sometimes you'll see that they've got a couple owners or whatever the case may be. And it's funny because I actually just recently signed on a new client from this method. And they were obviously, I only post in Facebook advertising groups, and we are now with that client spending around $60,000 per month on Facebook ads. That's how much we're spending. And they were from a Facebook ads group. So it goes to show that you need to go into those groups because that's where our quality e-com owners kind of congregate and live essentially. And then you put your post out and that's going to catch their eye, okay? Now, what to post? Now, we know kind of the rules around where to post and kind of where you need to be at within your agency. And as I kind of just touched on there, we know where to post now. But what do you physically post? Well, guys, I just want to say quickly, this is what I do and this is what I see best results with. Okay, you could take a completely different approach. I don't know how you change it up, but whatever the way you want to change it up to, you could take a completely different approach and still get amazing results. But this is what I've used, and this is what has genuinely made me over $10,000, okay? And I'm being 100% serious, guys. This has genuinely made me over around 10,000 in monthly retainers, okay? Monthly retainers. This has honestly made me around, I'd go as far as saying over 10,000, okay? So, as I say, what I'm explaining here and where to post and what to post, all that type of stuff, this is what I've personally done to see the results that I've gotten. Now, let's move on. What to post? Well, what I do and what you want to do is create a piece of copy that discusses a screenshot you have taken of one of your client's results, okay? And this is why I said it's imperative that it's your own client, is because you can now just simply take a screenshot, add in what you want to add in, and really just take out and kind of crop out what you don't want people to see. Take a screenshot, and then you want to create a piece of copy that discusses what the people see within the screenshot. Now, the copy needs to touch on how you went about generating those results, what things you implemented, etc. So how did you physically go about generating them results? Like, and there's quite a few different approaches you can take. So you could almost take, you could really take one of many. The first way I'd often do, or when I was starting out with this, I often went around the approach in terms of how I initially started, what I initially did to end up getting these results in terms of testing, in terms of creating variations of ad sets and ads and all that type of stuff, maybe go into account structure and all that type of stuff. You could take the approach of like how you set up your retargeting funnel. You could, really base everything around how to get amazing ROAS on cold. Like, there's so many different angles. So kind of tying back in with that, the copy needs to touch on how you went about generating those results, what things you implemented, etc. Okay, that's essentially how I do it. And those angles I just kind of listed off there are some really, really good angles to take that you can kind of explain, and it's going to catch people's attention. Okay. Also, you can add in some best practices that you have learned. So things like, just giving them general tips, right? Just general tips. Like you could say, now given this, given myself and my agency's experience, or actually I wouldn't say agency, I just go, given my experience now with working with a myriad of e-commerce brands, we always now, what's a good one? We always now only ever do a 60-40 split with our, between cold and retargeting, right? That's just off the top of my head. But, just some best practices like that you now have learned that are always going to be winners. That's what you need to do, because the post is aimed at providing value and nothing else, okay? And this is a big thing. At the end of the piece of copyright or whatever, at the start, whenever, you never, ever, ever want to mention the fact of or message me to scale your business to the next level, or message me if you want me to implement these same results for you, anything like that. You don't want to do that, okay? And I know that may seem somewhat contrary to what you may think, but couple of things with that. Well, really two main things with that. First things first, you may not get the post approved, or if it does get approved, then it may get taken down and you may get deleted from the group because it looks as self-promoting if you start to promote your own agency and tell people to message you or whatever. I suppose three things actually, because then the second thing could also be that you get a lot of hate, people saying, oh, you're just trying to promote yourself and whatever the case may be. And really the third thing, and this is probably what's going to hurt you the most, is simply the fact that people who genuinely would reach out to you, or, would actually want to go ahead and, work with you or whatever, if they see that you're just promoting yourself, that may actually turn them off, as opposed to actually make them want to reach out to you. So what I do is create a post that is aimed at providing value and nothing else. At the end of the post, I don't say anything. I don't say to message me. I don't say anything like that. I just provide value, and people are going to see that value, and their natural actions following that value they got given that they, actually have an e-com brand and whatnot, their natural actions will be to message you or comment or something like that, okay? Trust me, guys, I know it, again, I know it may seem contrary to what you may think, but this is the best way to go about it. Do not self-promote, just provide just create a post that's aimed at providing value and nothing else, okay? I can promise you that's where you're gonna see the best results, okay? Now, this is an actual post, okay, that I posted. And when I say this made me upwards of $6,000 per month in client retainers, like, I'm being very serious. Okay, guys, genuinely, I put this post up and it made me over $6,000 per month in client retainers. Okay, and that's just the reality of it. That just goes to show how powerful it is. So here's a legit post that I actually posted, okay? First things first, obviously the kind of somewhat long form piece of copy. I'll just read through it with you guys just so you can get a real good understanding. And also just so you can see how, you know, what to post. You can see these kind of points being played out within this piece of copy that I did, okay? And again, guys, this is a real life example that made me over $6,000 in client retainers, okay? So this is one of my newer e-commerce clients. As you can see, we started running the ads November 7. Within the first month, we have generated them $45,000 from $2,200 ad spend. My strategy? Keep it simple. A lot of people come up with super complicated strategies, but I keep it really simple with my clients. I create long form ad copy in the form of a story that I then couple with a great creative. From here, I figure out the correct audiences that I know will have an interest in my respective client's product. I just simply use common sense and the audience insights tool to find all of the audiences, and then I split test to see which ones work best. From here, I simply duplicate the winning audiences into a separate campaign, which I then scale. My goal is to simply create ads that resonate with the audience on a high level and then drive highly targeted traffic to my client's website. Simple, but very effective. Okay, guys, that's all I did. Okay, and probably you guys reading that, you didn't really find any value. Like, I didn't really talk about anything. I didn't, you know, in somewhat, I didn't really even like give any practical things that they can now go ahead and implement. Like, it was just a very, very broad overview. But, you know, to those who don't really understand Facebook or advertising as a whole, it probably seems very valuable. And then obviously you guys can see that I coupled that with just a really good screenshot that I took of an actual client, you know, my client's ad account, not a team member's or whatever, my client's ad account. And, you know, you can see it play out there. $2,110 spent, 43,000 brought in, 20.81 ROAS. So you can see with this one, I essentially went more the route of, you know, high ROAS as opposed to high, you know, like a high budget and average ROAS. I went more low budget and high ROAS. Okay, and really that's it. And look at the bottom, guys. Look at the bottom. Okay, you can see 146 people liked this post and 67 people commented on the post, and that isn't taking into account the people who just went ahead and direct messaged me. So obviously I had 67 people comment on the post. Some were just genuinely wanting to figure out more, but quite a few of them were actually people who were saying, can you do this for me? Can I go ahead and message you or whatever? So that was that. And then again, that's not taking into account the people who just went ahead and straight direct messaged me. So guys, honestly, this is such a powerful method that you can use to start getting inbound leads. And obviously you guys can see that I created this post, I posted it, and then from there I got inbound leads. I got 67 people commented, 146 people liked it. I got a whole heap of people messaging me, and I didn't do any outreach. I just created the post, okay? So honestly, guys, it's a very, very powerful method to use to create inbound leads for your agency. And also the other really good thing about it is just the simple fact that it's very easy to do once you've got some clients. So that's why I like to say, do the stake outreach that we've been talking about, do the outreach. Once you get clients, you get some good results, you can then start to leverage this method, because like, I wasn't joking when I say, I mean, overall, across all posts I've done, I've literally added around, well, really, it's over $10,000 per month in client, you know, monthly retainers. But from this post alone, and this was one of the best posts that I did, this literally generated me, like I say, over $6,000 in client monthly retainers. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you start to implement this once you get some clients and you start getting them really good results. And guys, you'll literally just see for yourself firsthand the amount of results and the amount of probably new clients as well that you actually get from this method. But guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next module.